And with that, we welcome you into St. Paul. Wildcat basketball is on the air tonight. The Cats host the Cobbers. Interviews and senior night. We got to move. Let's get into it with Sean. Concordia and St. Kate's. Our Wildcat pregame show is on the air. As always, we bring you downstairs into the office of fourth-year head coach Sean Pinkerton. And Coach, as always, before we talk about Concordia tonight, let's look back at these last few wins. Some nice ones mixed in there. Superior was great. We talked about that. St. Ben's as well, a really quality win. Got a great defensive stop late in that game, and then a clobbering of McAllister on the road, a little payback for them coming here to your gym earlier and getting a close win. What are your thoughts on these last couple games, specifically St. Ben's, close one here, and then McAllister on the road?
Yeah, a couple of really nice wins. St. Ben's is a really talented team, so it was a big win for us at home, being able to hold on late, get that last defensive stop, and finish the game out. I thought the kids played really, really well. You know, they made enough. We've talked about it. Some of those games we've played with really quality opponents and not been able to finish out. They made some big plays down the stretch to close out a win. And then McAllister, you know, I thought they're so improved, and their coaching staff has done such a great job with them. And it was a really tight ball game for 3 quarters, and then our kids kind of caught fire in the fourth and started playing really good basketball, great ball movement, creating some quality open looks for ourselves, and it just seemed like everyone started to fall. And that 23-0, 25-0 run, whatever it was right there to start the fourth quarter, kind of ended that one.
It's your home finale tonight against Concordia. At halftime, we're going to hear from your lone senior, Shauna Horsch, who was a player who came in as a transfer for you. Talk about what she has meant to this program and to you personally, what she has meant, because she's really had a nice career playing basketball for the Wildcats. This is the part of college sports that sucks when you got to send these kids out into the real world.
Yeah, it's always such a tough night, senior night. Shauna was my first recruit to St. Kate's. Shauna is the first athlete I've ever coached for 4 years. Just an awesome person. Someone that, you know, as a coach, you've got certain people that play for you and obviously significantly younger than me and plays for me, but in a lot of ways it's someone that you look up to and you admire because of certain attributes. And she is such a competitor and approaches everything with such an intensity to be successful that she's certainly one of those kids that you can't help but admire and look up to and be incredibly proud of. So I'm very thankful that I had the opportunity to coach her for 4 years. Really thankful for her belief in us and coming in and believing that we could build a successful program, and then being such a tremendously impactful individual in helping us to get to where we're currently at, and then just very proud of everything that she's done, and I'm certain she can go be really successful with whatever she does.
I don't want to give away my halftime interview, but she said she wants to go to Wall Street and work for J.P. Morgan, so I think probably in the next 5 to 10 years when you or I needs a loan, that's probably the person we're going to want to not lose that phone number. We're probably going to want to call Shauna.
Yeah, I mean, she'll definitely have to be at the top of our list of donors when we need a locker room, or I need a new office, or, you know, hopefully we can call up Shauna and she can fund that endeavor.
Big checks only.
Exactly.
That's the only kind we're accepting through the mail slot. Concordia tonight. There's some business at hand. There's all this stuff going on with senior night. But Concordia, you mentioned St. Ben's being really good. Concordia's had another strong season. They've got an experienced head coach, and they've got good depth again. What have you seen out of the Cobbers?
They're really talented. I mean, they're kind of your typical Concordia team. Good athleticism, very physical, great post play, solid guards. They've always got, you know, Jess herself. I think Jess, the Concordia coach, does a phenomenal job. I believe I'm correct in saying I believe she was National Player of the Year as a point guard herself at Concordia and led them to a national title. So she always seems to, not surprisingly, have phenomenal point guards. But they're just a really solid team. They always are. They're really, really well coached and disciplined and fundamental. And they're going to be a really tough test for us.
Lachey Holt, you look down at the box score. From my vantage point upstairs, she had her ups and downs this year. But here we are in the middle of February. I pick up the box score. She's playing 24 minutes a game. She's like 17-9 or something like that. Yeah. And you go, my goodness, for all the ups and downs at times, some of the inconsistencies earlier on in the season, here we are again. She might be the best player in the conference. I mean, really, in what she does in such a short amount of time.
There's just so many ways she impacts the game. You know, her ability to rebound the ball on both ends of the floor. She's always one of the top in the conference in steals. She makes some passes that I think a lot of kids at this level are not physically capable of making. Some of those one-handed cross-court passes that are just
She'd be a good
bullets
quarterback.
and on a row. Yeah, you know, and then obviously the ability to score the basketball. She's just there's so many ways she can hurt you. I was actually talking to an opposing coach last night while we were both out recruiting at the same high school game, and Shay came up, and they were just talking about how she's just a matchup nightmare.
And now she makes free throws.
Yeah, yep, she's shooting the ball well from the free throw line. She's above 30% from the three-point line. You know, it's just like I said, there's so many different ways that she can hurt you that it's really challenging, I think, for opponents to find a way to neutralize her.
It's senior night. Let's head downstairs. We'll hear the rest of Sean Pinkerton's thoughts at halftime. We will have the tip-off. We will have your starters. But first, senior night ceremonies for the lone senior on this year's team, Shauna Horsch.
Ladies and gentlemen, Shauna has started 89 games over 4 years. The forward from Inver Grove Heights has made 63 starts and scored 675 career points with 311 rebounds, 103 assists, and 131 steals. She earned all academic MIAC honors as a sophomore. She is tied for second all-time in St. Kate history for made free throws in a single game, and fifth for steals in a single season. Horsch is also captain of the team this year, her senior year. Ladies and gentlemen, senior Shauna Horsch.
Shauna, no, we're going to have you stay out there for a minute longer. We've got a few gifts
That's
for
head
you
coach
and
Sean
your teammates.
Pinkerton you're hearing right now.
Shauna, unlike a few of your teammates the last several years who have been seniors, I don't think you're going to mind being in the spotlight for a couple minutes longer. But we want to take a moment to really thank you for everything that you've done for the program. Shauna was my first recruit to St. Kate's. Shauna is the first athlete that I've ever coached for 4 years, and it's been a true pleasure to have her as a part of our program. We really want to thank you for everything that you've done, for the belief that you had in our program and what we could accomplish, and everything that you've done to make that happen. We're very, very proud of you. We love you very much, and we know you're going to be incredibly successful with whatever you choose to do moving forward. Thank you.
Got him. Thanks.
All right, very nice. Once again, senior night ceremonies. The lone senior on this year's team is Sean Pinkerton's first recruit, Shauna Horsch. And if you want to hear more from Shauna, get to know her, her plans for moving on into the real world and out of basketball, stay tuned at halftime. My halftime show on this special senior night presentation of Wildcat basketball is none other than the senior out of Inver Grove Heights, Minnesota, Shauna Horsch. Let's get back to Sean and hear the rest of my pregame interview from head coach Sean Pinkerton. Once again, tonight, the Wildcats host Concordia College and their Cobbers. It's the home finale in the Butler Center for 2015-2016.
Last question of the pregame show for head coach Sean Pinkerton, and by that last question of 2015-16, you don't have to put up with me in these hard-hitting questions until next fall. What's your takeaway on 2015-2016? Market improvement, there's no question about that. I can sit up there all day and say you've done a whale of a job coaching this team through the first 4 seasons, but we've talked about it off the air. couple of these games go another way and we're sitting in the playoffs. So progress, yes, but what are your thoughts on this year and looking ahead to next year?
Well, we've been really clear over the last 4 years of what we want to accomplish. We want to get better every year. And so it's another step forward, but certainly not where we want to be. Our aspirations are to perennially be among the top teams in the conference, which gives us hopefully a legitimate chance at conference championships and a legitimate chance at an NCAA tournament bid. So that's what we aspire to. We're not there yet, but I think it's another step forward for us, progress in the right direction.
Sean, always great to talk all season long. Love the insights. Love talking shop with you. And I know the fans appreciate getting that insight as well. Best of luck tonight. And I guess we'll hear from you again next fall.
Great. Thank you very much.
There he goes. That is fourth-year head coach Sean Pinkerton for your Wildcats. Again tonight, the Wildcats host Concordia College in their Cobbers. 16-7 on the season is Concordia. 12-4 in the MIAC. That's good enough for third place. Looking up at St. Mary's at 13-3 and St. Thomas at 14-2. Well, now that we got senior night introductions out of the way and the festivities, again, we'll hear from Shauna Horsch at halftime. We can introduce ourselves. We had to jump right into Sean Pinkerton. Make sure we got all of the coaches' thoughts onto the broadcast. I'm Matt Nelson, as always, alongside of our engineer, Glenn Thompson. I'm so happy you can spend a part of your Wednesday night with us in MIAC women's basketball. Our email address, if you want to reach out to the booth, give us your thoughts on all things women's basketball in the MIAC. It is wildcatsbooth@gmail.com, whether it is you're listening and rooting on the Wildcats or Concordia College and their Cobbers. Perhaps you've elected, maybe they're watching our broadcast, and then we've got Cobber Radio across the way, our friend Larry. Maybe they're listening to Larry and watching our broadcast. You never know. That's a choice that one can make. Larry, one of the good guys of MIAC Radio across the way with Concordia College and the Cobbers. But we are, again, so happy you can spend your Wednesday night with us this week as the Wildcats host the Cobbers. And not only that, but all of 2015, 2016. A couple of hockey games mixed in there, but plenty of volleyball and basketball, and we've had some really great games. The game against Superior, St. Ben's, they were epic, close games all the way down to the finish. Great finishes that the Wildcats ended up getting those clutch W's. And you heard Shauna Horsch. You'll hear her at halftime, but she kind of hints that Sean told her when she came here, we might not win until your senior season. We might not be really competitive until your senior season. It hasn't. It happened quicker than that, which is remarkable. But you talk to the people around Concordia College and the Cobbers and the other teams around the conference, and they know that the Wildcats, when they show up, that they mean business and that they can beat any team in this conference. It's going to be a good game tonight, although the Wildcats playing one short. We'll tell you more about that after we tell you about the sponsors of Wildcat Athletics. And they're great ones. They make these broadcasts possible. They enhance the student-athlete experience as well. Twin Cities Orthopedics, Ellsmore Swim Shop, Universal Athletics, Northfield Lines, Push, Pedal, and Pull, Midwest Vending, Best Western in Bloomington, Cone Elevators and Escalators, Loeffler Business Solutions, McGo Construction, Dolan Printing, the Sodexo Group, U.S. Bank, Shapco Printing, Rachel Contracting, and the Opus Group. We'll honor America with the playing of the Star-Spangled Banner here in just a moment. The Wildcats riding a 3-game winning streak with wins over UW Superior 77-72, St. Ben's 57-56. Defensive stand at the end of that one got the Wildcats the W against the Blazers, and then a thumping of McAllister on the road, 81-57. Let's send it downstairs. National anthem, we honor America.
Welcome to the Butler Center for tonight's MIAC matchup between the Concordia College Cobbers and your St. Catherine University Wildcats. Now, ladies and gentlemen, at this time we ask that you please rise, please remove your caps, and please face the flag as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem.
All right, bring it back upstairs here at the Butler Center. Matt Nelson alongside of engineer Glenn Thompson. Let's keep it downstairs. Starting lineups. Home finish 2015-2016.
Minnesota, junior guard number 3, Greta Walsh. For the Wildcats from Dawson, Minnesota, junior forward number 10, Mari Lee. For the Cobbers from Bismarck, North Dakota, senior guard number 13. For guard number 13, Audra Clark. For the Cobbers from Walcart, North Dakota, senior forward number 22, Olivia Johnson. For the Wildcats from Minnetonka, Minnesota, junior guard number 24, Alexis Garcia. For the Cobbers from St. Cloud, Minnesota, junior forward number 33, Jenna Januszka. For the Wildcats from Grimes, Iowa, junior forward number 30, Kennedy Jennings. For the Cobbers from Moorhead, Minnesota, senior guard number 34, Katie Rosenfeld. We need one more introduction from Inver Grove Heights, Minnesota. She is our lone senior, number 2, playing in her final regular season game as a Wildcat, Shauna Horsch. The balance of the Cobbers and the balance of the Wildcats.
All right, very well said downstairs. Public Address Man Records Ryan here at the Butler Center. There's your starting lineups for both teams. If you missed them, I've got them for you right here as well. And since it's tradition and routine, I'm going to do it because who likes change? Wildcats 12-11 on the season, 6-10 in the MIAC. That is their best record of the past 5 seasons. Their starting 5 features 1 guard and 4 forwards. The 4 forwards, Mari Lee, 5'10", junior out of Dawson, Minnesota, shooting 41% on her 3-point shot this season. Alexis Garcia goes into the starting 5. An injury to Meg Clark, separated shoulder on Saturday against McAllister in the win. She is 50-50 whether or not she'll play in the season finale on Saturday. Kennedy Jennings, 5'11", forward, junior, Grimes, Iowa. 23 starts, making her 24th start at each and every game thus far this season for the Wildcats, just over 6 points per game. Audra Clark in the backcourt alongside of Shauna Horsch, our lone senior. We're ready to tip it, and off we go. The Cobbers win the tip, and Greta Walsh will march it into the corner. The starters for Concordia College and the Cobbers, Greta Walsh and Hannah Jeske in the backcourt, 5'9" and 5'6" respectively. Olivia Johnson, 5'10", junior out of Walcott, Wisconsin. Januszka in the front court, and Rosenfeld. Kennedy Jennings gets us started early with a bucket. The ice is broken on this game, and off we go. The email address, wildcatsbooth@gmail.com. Cobbers 16-7 on the season, 12-4, 3rd place in the MIAC. Wildcats 6-10 in the conference, 12-11 overall. Cobbers go into the post and get their first score of the ball game. It comes from Jenna Januszka. His sophomore Januszka out of St. Cloud, Minnesota, 14.5 points per game, 7.5 boards per contest. A force to be reckoned with. Concordia, don't know if it's where they are geographically or the recruiting style. They always have superb post players. Horsch outside. Garcia's 3 is on the way, and she knocks it down. Alexis Garcia makes it a 5-2 ball game. Garcia has struggled mightily with her 3-point shot this season, shooting just 16%. But when she's gotten those few starts mixed in, she started her 2nd game of the season this year. She really has played with more confidence, more sure of herself, and her shot showed it as she stepped up and knocked it down confidently. Rosenfeld, a couple of dribbles to her right. Now Olivia Johnson into the post. Januszka again scores. Johnson to Januszka. Januszka has all 4 points for the Cobbers. It's a 5-4 Wildcat lead. Here comes Audra Clark with her head up into the front court. 8:21 left in the first quarter. If you're joining us late, Wildcats on senior night, playing with a lead. Not yet 2 minutes into the ball game. Clark surveys the defense. All alone on her side of the floor. Now Horsch, 10 seconds on her shot clock. 2 dribbles in. Kicks outside. Lee missed badly on a 3. Offensive rebound. Clark came up with it somehow. Put it back up and in and got fouled. And one chance off of the offensive board for Audra Clark. She goes to the free throw line where she shoots 74%. First foul against the Cobbers belongs to Hannah Jeske, the junior out of Bismarck. What is it from Bismarck to Moorhead? About a 3-hour drive to the east. 3.5 hours. 4 hours if Glenn is driving, 3.5 if I am. Jennings the steal. Wildcats are going the other way with it with a 3-point lead. Clark to the basket, laid it up and in with the left hand. Clark goes off of the window, has 4 points, and the Wildcats lead it by 5. It's 9-4. Greta Walsh pushing the pace for the Cobbers, marched it right into the corner, nearly had it stripped away by Audra Clark. Olivia Johnson up top to the left-hand side wing. Jeske will key her offense, guarded tightly by Garcia. Now Januszka comes out of the post, kicks up top. Walsh three is long. Off of the back iron, defensive rebound in the paint by Alexis Garcia. She'll hand it off for Audra Clark. There she goes into the front court, tried to get it to Garcia, had it poked away by Jeske. Garcia somehow got it back, and now Audra Clark into the middle of the floor. Horsch, baseline drive, left hand layup is off. Lee offensive rebound. She goes back up with it and scores. And we've got a timeout on the floor. The Cobbers take one. They're down by 7 early, 11-4. The early advantage on senior night for the Wildcats. And surprisingly, they're clobbering the Cobbers on the boards. You're listening to Wildcat basketball, 11-4 lead. Okay, so far so good for the Wildcats. Matt Nelson back with you, an 11-4 first quarter lead. Wildcats come out and make 5 of their first 7 shots and out-rebound the Cobbers 3-1 and have turned them over, that is Concordia, 3 times. Out of the timeout, and I'm sure an earful, Rosenfeld to the right of the elbow. She'll pull it up from 15 feet out. That shot is off. Weak side rebound won by Kennedy Jennings. She went way over Olivia Johnson to get it. Johnson, 8.5 rebounds per game, one of the better rebounders in all of the conference, and Jennings went right over and stripped it away. 6:30 left in the first quarter. There goes Clark already with 4, and she lays it up and in one more time. She's getting it done in the paint. 3 layups has Clark with 6 points, and it's 13-4, a 9-point lead early for the Wildcats. Playing tonight without Meg Clark. She separated her shoulder, and honoring their lone senior, Shauna Horsch. Walsh down low for Januszka. She lost it, and it was stripped away by Kennedy Jennings. 4th turnover for Concordia College, 4 minutes into the game. Horsch battled for the ball, came up with it, handed it off into the corner for Mari Lee. Clark for Jennings. There she goes. Might have gotten away with the travel. Crashed the lane at her shot, blocked by Januszka. She stripped it away, and the Cobbers again pushed the pace. Walsh picked up by Horsch. Crossover dribble there. Johnson up top with it. She was open, passed on a 3, instead into the corner. Rosenfeld, baseline drive, layup short, got her own rebound, squiggled out of Garcia's defense. Back up top, Walsh goes driving off of the 3-point line. She scores and won. Greta Walsh will head to the free throw line. Sophomore out of West Central Minnesota, Litchfield. Sophomore goes to the line to a chance on a 3-point play. Shoots 80% on the season, does Walsh. Jessica Raymond now in her 13th season in Moorhead, 16-7 this year, 12-4 in the MIAC. She was a great point guard as a player, and as always, she has a strong crop of guards on this year's team as Walsh knocks it down. She shoots 80% from the free throw line. Lead for the Wildcats has been reduced to 6. Lachey Holt comes in off of the bench for Sean Pinkerton. Jamie Menser checks in for the Cobbers, wearing that big knee brace on her right knee. Holt goes to work on her with some fancy dribbling into the front court. Horsch will let loose with a 3-pointer. That's off of the side of the iron. Rebound underneath the basket by Crystal Amundsen. Amundsen only averaging 4 points a game, but has played in all 23 games off of the bench. Ooh, nifty little bit of shooting by Olivia Johnson. Johnson just stepped back, looked the defense in the eye, and knocked it down from 8 feet out. The lead is cut to 4. Eight seconds to work with. Holt guarded by Menser. Mismatch. Holt, long 2-pointer, nothing but the bottom of the net. Lachey Holt in just 24 minutes a game is scoring 17 points per contest and boarding 8.5 rebounds per game as well. And as I mentioned in my pregame show with Sean, Johnson knocks one down right on her own. She says, Lachey Holt, you can hit nothing but the bottom of the net. I can do that too. 5 points for Johnson as she knocks down the triple. 42% shooter on the season is Johnson, 11.5 points per game. She's already got 5. The lead for the Wildcats is down to 3. Holt three-pointer. Nothing but the bottom of the net again. Lachey Holt, flat-footed set shot, knocked it down. 30% three-point shooter has 5 points, and the lead is 18-12 for St. Kate's. Good shooting early for both teams. Wildcats 7 of 11. Concordia College 5 of 8. Johnson again off of the elbow. Shot's no good. Rebound underneath the basket, and Raymond got it and put it back in. Raymond, 5'6", out of Moorhead. Great player, and obviously the daughter of the head coach. Clark, her 4th layup. Clark has 8 points. It's 20-14. How about the shooting in this game? St. Kate's 9 of 13. Concordia College 6 of 10. 15 of 23. That's off of the back. Lee, the rebound. The shot was too strong for Menser. Lachey Holt, crossover dribble. There's Clark in the corner. She wants to drive to the basket again. She got to the basket but couldn't finish off the layup. Rebound Johnson. Johnson already good showing early with 5 points and a couple of rebounds for the Cobbers. Their last time out, an 11-point win against St. Ben's at home. Januszka had 15 points and 5 boards. Johnson and Walsh kicked in with a dozen each as well. Look at Walsh driving baseline. Got past Holt, but shot an air ball. Rebound tipped out to Audra Clark. She's got space in front of her. There she goes, and from behind, nice defensive play. Menser blocked the shot and poked it out of bounds. Clark just a step slow to get away from Menser into the front court off of that deflection. It'll stay with the Wildcats. Their ball with 2:24 left in the first quarter, leading 20-14. Our email address. This is your last game of the year, fans. Cobber fans, Wildcat fans, if you want to write in to our MIAC broadcast booth up here as Horsch is fouled. She'll go to line to shoot 2. It's wildcatsbooth@gmail.com. Get out your pen, Glenn. I know that short-term memory of yours isn't what it used to be. It's wildcatsbooth@gmail.com. Let us know where it is you're listening from and who you're rooting for tonight. Shauna Horsch, the lone senior on this year's team, knocks down her first free throw. She's on the board on her senior night. It's really her show. 4 seasons with St. Kate's. And this is just a chance to thank her for the great career that she's had at St. Catherine University. In 89 games for Horsch over 4 seasons. The forward from Inver Grove Heights has made 63 starts. Scored 675 career points with 311 rebounds, 103 assists, and 131 steals. Going the other way, Lachey Holt again. 7 points for Holt. Their lead is back up to double digits. It's 24-14. Going back to Horsch. All academic MIAC honors as a sophomore, tied for second all-time in St. Kate's history for made free throws in a single game, 5th for steals in a single season. Horsch obviously is a captain this year as well, her senior season, playing in her final home game as a Wildcat. Whistles underneath the basket in transition, and a foul going against the maroon and gold of the Concordia Cobbers. Raymond called for her first foul. Raymond, the sophomore out of Moorhead, called for her first. It's the 3rd against Concordia with $1:34 left in the first quarter. It's flown by. Great offense. Holt back up top. There goes Jennings into the paint. Audra Clark has it on the left-hand side wing. Bumps off of contact. Found Shauna. One dribble to the rack. She lays it up and in. Horsch has 4 points in the first quarter. Their lead is 12. Walsh lost her dribble. That's out of bounds, but poked out of bounds by Jennings. It will be Concordia Cobber basketball. We'll hear from Shauna Horsch at halftime of our broadcast, the final of 2015-2016. Jeske down low, Januszka one-on-one on Jennings, and somehow got her layup through the contact and scored it. Januszka, leading scorer for the Cobbers in the first quarter with her 6 points. Clark against Walsh. Now Horsch has it. Back for Clark. Wildcats in no great hurry. Into the high post. Horsch tried to find a cutting Jennings. Missed her. No touch by the Cobbers. It's Concordia's basketball. Wildcats are assured of having their best record in the past 5 years and the best under fourth-year head coach Sean Pinkerton in 2015-2016. Concordia, Jennings harassing Januszka. It'll stay Cobber basketball, 21 seconds on their shot clock. 37 left on the game clock in the first quarter. Rosenfeld, long pass, tried to find Walsh, but airmailed her. Walsh, 5'6", couldn't quite get up for that pass. Came down empty-handed. A turnover for the Cobbers. And that is turnover number 5 in the first quarter. They've shot well at 50%, but the turnovers have come back to bite them. The Wildcats, for comparison and contrast, have only turned it over once. 26-16 lead. Wildcats can hold it for what amounts to the last shot. 18 on the game clock, 20 on the shot clock. Holt down low. Jennings, one dribble again, turns in the post, couldn't connect on the layup. Cobbers still have 7 seconds to work with. Walsh heading the other way with it, lobs it into the post, found Johnson, one dribble, backs it up, layup is short, and that's the end of the first quarter. Jennings hauls down the rebound, and we've played 10 minutes from St. Paul. Take a deep breath. That was an exciting first quarter. No stoppages in play, only 4 fouls, and great shooting. The Wildcats shoot 64% in the first quarter. The Cobbers, 50%. It's Wildcats 26, Concordia 16. Let's break for the first time. You are listening to Wildcat Basketball on tjsportsonline.net. 26-16 Wildcats started the second quarter. Matt Nelson alongside of engineer Glenn Thompson. Twin Cities Orthopedics offers a full spectrum of orthopedic care to individuals suffering sports-related problems and injuries. Their doctors are team physicians to the University of St. Catharines, Augsburg College, Hamline University, and others. Visit tcomn.com. Just underway here in the second quarter, so glad you can join us. Wildcats on top 26-16. Jennings drives, dishes, Lee three-pointer. That's off of the front iron. Rebound Walsh. Rosenfeld got clobbered going for the rebound by her own player. Look at Walsh's speed going to the basket, and she's fouled. Mace might have got a hand on her. Yeah, it is the first foul against the freshman Mackenzie Mace, the first-year player. He's played more of a limited role this season for the Wildcats, but getting a chance to pick up some minutes with the injury to Meg Clark. Walsh, typically a great free throw shooter, misses her first, 80% on the season. Mace just playing in her 7th game, averages 4 minutes a game when she does play. Walsh goes 1 of 2. The lead is in single digits for the Wildcats. They lead at 26-17 in a first quarter that was marked by great shooting. The Wildcats shot 64%. Lee has it in the corner. Clark had a good first quarter as well with 8 points. Lachey Holt off of the bench, 3 of 3 with 7 points. Long two-pointer, knocked it down. She hasn't missed. 4 of 4 is Lachey Holt. She's got 9 points. She's shot the ball 4 times. Long two. She's shot the ball 4 times and is yet to hit backboard or rim. 3-pointer for the Cobbers. And it's 28-20. A long 2 knocked down by Rosenfeld. Long 3-pointer. Rosenfeld on the board for the first time. Rosenfeld started in her 24th ball game of the season. Clark will let loose with a 3-pointer. That's long, and the miss will fall out of bounds. Lee and Jennings tried to track it down, but watch it roll out of bounds. Clark will head to the bench for a breather along with Mace in favor of Horsch and Garcia. So the 5 on the floor really for the Wildcats is a very long, athletic, rebounding-oriented 5 players. Garcia, Lee, Jennings, Horsch, and Lachey Holt. Cobbers down by 8 here in the second quarter. Rosenfeld knocked down that 3-pointer. Defers to Januszka, trying to go high-low. Johnson, nothing there. They do throw it into the post, and it's stolen away by Lachey Holt. Shea goes the other way with it. Finds Lee, who traveled. Holt tried making that extra pass to the junior Mari Lee, who was trailing. Made the nifty dime, but a little too much momentum taking Lee to the basket. She shuffled her feet. 8 minutes left in the second quarter. It's 28-20. Nice, robust crowd at the Butler Center tonight. 1 dribble and a 5-footer knocked down by Olivia Johnson. I've always really liked the juniors game out of Walcott, North Dakota. She's got a great frame for collegiate basketball, and you saw her there assert that position, make that 1 dribble, turn, shoot, and score. That's hard to defend at any level. Johnson on the season, 11.5 a game to go with 8.5 rebounds. Oh, nifty post move by Lachey Holt, who missed for the first time and then got wiped up and tangled up by Johnson. 5-on-4 for the Cobbers. Driving is Jeske, and she got fouled. Jeske to the free throw line to shoot 2. Jeske on the season, 62% free throw shooter. She struggled a bit with her shot this year. 15% on the 3-pointers, 38% from the floor, and 62% from the free throw line. Got her first. Cobbers' 3rd trip of the night to the free throw line, where they're 3 of 4. And a 1-for-2 trip to the stripe for Jeske. Rebound Wildcats. Here they come going the other way. Wildcats there last time out, I mentioned they beat down on McAllister 81-57 at MIAC. That means 3-game winning streak as Holt misses long. And rebound by Crystal Amundsen. 3-game winning streak, UW's Superior. The 1-point win against St. Ben's, 57-56. And then McAllister 81-57. Holt had 18 points and 12 rebounds. Audra Clark led the team in scoring, led all scorers with 19 points on 7 of 15 shooting. And Shauna Horsch as well had 18 of her own on 6 of 11 shooting. Another steal. That's the 7th turnover by Concordia in less than 14 minutes of basketball. Wildcats come up with it. Holt lost it. And last touched by Menser on the way out of bounds. It's Wildcat ball. Clark will check in. Jennings will go to the bench for a breather. 2 fouls against the Wildcats in this second quarter. The Cobbers still whistleless. Is that a word? Without whistle. Clark from Horsch in the paint. A little strong with the left-handed floater. Rebound Johnson underneath the basket. Johnson with 3 boards, 3 of 5 shooting, has 7 points. Leads the Cobbers. Leading all scorers right now, Lachey Holt with her 9 points on 4 of 6. Down low, Johnson, mismatch on Clark. Got by her and scored easily. All Clark could do was stand there with her arms in the air and look at her. 9 points for Olivia Johnson. And the Wildcats, despite the lack of depth, still playing at a pretty high speed, high intensity here so far in the first half, holding on to a 3-point lead. Lee, little floater on the baseline. Nicely done. Mari Lee has her first 2 points of the night. The Wildcats have a 5-point lead, and Sean Pinkerton wants a timeout to give his team a breather. 5:55 left in the second quarter. Wildcats shooting 52%, lead at 30-25. Shauna Horsch tonight at the Butler Center. You'll hear from number 2 for the Wildcats at halftime. Hard to say the more emotional goodbye for a player wearing the number 2. Derek Jeter's final All-Star game was in Minneapolis. He, of course, wore number 2. And for Shauna tonight, her final game at the Butler Center here in St. Paul. 5:48 left in the first half. There's Horsch forcing the jump ball as she got the better of Amundsen on that one. Amundsen averages 4 points a game. One of the first few off the bench night in and night out for the Cobbers. Trailing right now by 5. Put your trust in Dolan Printing, Wildcat fans. They want to keep your printing job within your budget. That's why they make sure you have access to accurate pricing quotes. Dolan Printing offers cost transparency, so if you feel comfortable knowing their premier services are affordable. Visit their website, dolanprinting.com. Cobbers get the long 2-pointer. Mentzer knocks down her first bucket. I mentioned the last timeout was St. Kate's timeout. I believe I was mistaken. It looks like that was actually a Cobbers timeout. Whether or not that factors in later in the first half shouldn't be a factor, but I know you listeners sometimes keep me honest. Up here on our perch. Mentzer wide open for 3. That one's off. Horsch boxed out. Raymond hauled in the rebound and drew the foul. Good bit of basketball by the senior, the veteran Horsch. 4:53 left in the second quarter. Bittersweet night, senior night. You say goodbye to your senior players. Bittersweet for us too. We really enjoy coming over here and broadcasting ball games. Horsch long on her 3. As Walsh goes the other way, and an offensive foul. Clark got in, got her feet set, and got bowled over by Walsh. The charge called against the sophomore guard. Pardon me, the junior guard. Old 3-pointer. Got another one. Wildcats by 6. Lachey Hold with a dozen. Leads all scorers. And she's now 2 of 3. Shooting that unconventional flat-footed set shot. Walsh crosses over. Now goes for Januszka. And she walked with it. Horsch came out to defend. And Januszka traveled. For Horsch, her career high, 28 points last year in an 85-78 loss to Gustavus. That was back on January 4th, 2015. Lee lost it. Holt got it. It's a jump ball. The Arrows with the Wildcats. They'll keep it. The senior, 12 rebounds, career high as a sophomore in a 64-56 loss against Carleton back on the 7th of January, 2014. Led St. Kate's as a scorer 3 times as a junior. And holds the St. Kate's record for second most free throws made in a game, 14 of 14 versus Gustavus that night that she scored 28 points. 5th all-time for steals in a single season in MIAC history, and earned academic all-MIAC honors as a sophomore in 13-14. Foul against the Cobbers underneath the basket will send Horsch to the free throw line. The 3rd against Concordia, the 1st against Januszka, the junior. Six points now tonight for Horsch as she converts on both of her free throws. Again, 3 fouls for the Cobbers here in the second quarter, 2 for the hometown Wildcats. Cobbers go to Januszka. She lost hold on a nice spin move. 1 dribble to the spin and the finish. 8 points for Januszka. Johnson and Januszka, a very viable twin billing in the post for the Cobbers. They got the stats, they got the size, and the moves to score offensively. They're a handful for any team. There goes Audra Clark again. Clark walks it in. That's one thing. Januszka and Johnson have been good tonight offensively, but neither one of them has been able to slow down Audra Clark. She's got 10 points, all coming on layups. Jeske had it stripped away by Jennings. Wipe out at midcourt. Januszka's able to go back and collect it. She's got 7 seconds to work with. There goes Jeske. Walsh, one move, 2 seconds to work with. Steps back, shoots a three-pointer. It's an air ball and a shot clock violation. Big-time defense by the Wildcats, and it was set up by Jennings. And her job she did to strip the ball from Jeske, although Januszka was able to go back and retrieve it. It was a great defensive stand by the Wildcats, who lead at 37-29. Jennings, nice move on Januszka, and one! Wildcats lead it by 10. Jennings is fired up. Jennings with 4 points in the first half goes to the stripe, where she shoots 63% a chance for a three-point play. Got it. Wildcats 5 of 6 from the free throw line, 16 of 28 from the floor. That's 57%. A little bit of defense is going to go a long way now. The Cobbers are still shooting 54%, but they've turned it over 10 times. The Wildcats have only turned it over 3 times. Offensively, they've executed splendidly tonight, and the Cobbers just turned it over for the 11th time. And that's one way for that deficit to continue to grow and that lead to expand for St. Kate's. $1:59 left, inside of 2 minutes left in the first half. Holt walks it up. Clark for Horsch. Now Jennings. Clark looks into the post. Lee is covered up pretty good, but they'll go in there anyway against Amundsen. Double team comes. Back up top, Clark slices, finds a cutting Jennings, and a hold is going to be called against Concordia. The Cobber faithful that made the trip into St. Paul to watch this one. None too agreeable on the call. The 5th foul against the Cobbers is the second against Greta Walsh, and Jennings back to the free throw line for the second time in as many trips. First one good for the junior Jennings. And Jennings goes 4 for 4 in these last 2 possessions. Jennings now with 7 points on the night, and the Wildcats lead at 42-29. Cobbers have the ball, facing their biggest deficit of the night. They have not led, and they turned it over again. Mace came up with it, got it for Lee. Mace a little bit unsure in transition, but managed to get it to Lee. Holsch, baseline drive. Shot is off. Good defense by Amundsen. As the Cobbers trailing by a baker's dozen, as I mentioned, their largest deficit of the night, and they have not led. Rosenfeld. Now Amundsen will hand it off for Johnson, and the veteran has a huge mismatch one-on-one against Jennings. Hands it off for Jeske instead. 7 seconds to play with. Mace on a switch. Spinning into the lane is Jeske. Extra pass Johnson. And with 2 seconds to spare on the shot clock, Johnson lays it up and in. She's got 11 points. It's 42-31. Holt in transition. Got to the rack. Missed on her layup. Her rebound poked away by the Cobbers. But it'll be Wildcats ball with 40 seconds left on the game clock in the second quarter. And a fresh 30-second shot clock for St. Kate's to work with. Mace will inbound. Got it to Lee in the post. Her little sky hook shot is good. And the Wildcats again lead at 44-31. Again lead by 13. And they played the 2-for-1 pretty darn close to perfect. They'll have 4 seconds left if the Cobbers wind this thing down to a nub. Johnson. Menser around a screen from Johnson into the corner. Rosenfeld drives, lost it. Holt came up with it. 13 seconds to work with. There goes the athletic Holt into the front court. She'll retreat. 7 seconds now. Horsch. 2 dribbles with the left hand. Holt again. Backpedaling. Goes in for Shauna. A second left. Cobbers stole it away. The Wildcats had a good chance at a 2-for-1. Weren't able to capitalize, but played a whale of a first half, I should say. They'll take a 44-31 lead into the locker room over the 12-4 in the MIAC Concordia College Cobbers. Let's take a short break. Come back, we'll talk about the first half, and we'll hear from our lone senior, Shauna Horsch. That's when we come back. You're listening to Wildcat Basketball. Matt and Glenn here with you from St. Paul. 44-31 your score through 20. Senior night from the Butler Center on the campus of St. Catherine University. Matt Nelson alongside of Glenn Thompson. Wildcat basketball is on the air at the half. 44-31. St. Kate's with the lead over Concordia College and their Cobbers. Again, I keep beating this dead horse, but this is a team that in 4 years has gone from also-rans to a team that can beat any team in the conference on any given night, and a player who's been here for all of those 4 years is Shauna Horsch, the senior out of Inver Grove Heights, Minnesota. Career high 21 points back in the loss to Gustavus in 2015. Has just had a sensational career playing basketball here at St. Kate's. I mentioned 89 games over 4 years, 675 career points, 311 boards, 103 assists, and 131 steals. And she got to sit down with me for a halftime interview. Let's get to know more about Shauna and her plans looking ahead into the future for a career after basketball. Maybe Wall Street. What is that Gordon Gekko said? Greed is good.
Cobbers and Wildcats, it's halftime from St. Paul, and of course, with it being the final home game of the season, it is senior night. The lone senior on this year's team is Shauna Horsch, and this is always a chance to sit down. We do this each and every year with any team that we cover, a chance to get to know the seniors a little bit more, thank them for their contributions to the program, and catch some of their thoughts on the future. So, Shauna, welcome to the show. It's great to have you on.
Hi.
Let's talk about your time at St. Kate's. First of all, when you look back on your decision to come here, what was the real deciding factor for you to come here, go to school at St. Kate's, and play for the basketball team and for Sean?
So mine is actually kind of a funny story. I didn't really get recruited by St. Kate's per se. I went to school in North Dakota for my freshman year, the first semester, and then I ended up here. North Dakota wasn't really a fit for me, so my high
Not
school,
a lot of trees.
Yeah, no, not a lot of anything really. And
some oil, but that's about it.
yeah. My high school coach, Tim Pepper, actually was friends with Coach P, and they kind of had got us talking, and it was a good fit. I don't know, it was a good environment. My dad went to St. Thomas, so the area was nice. He had taken a couple classes at St. Kate's too, so I knew that it was good programs and stuff.
So you guys have a chance tonight. If you can beat Concordia, you guys will be 2 games above 500. It's you're 6-10 coming into tonight's game in the conference. It's a far cry from what you walked into when you came in here to St. Kate's. When you got here, did you think, oh my goodness, what have I gotten myself into with this team? Because there was a while they were really not getting it done in the win-loss column, if you know what I mean.
It's funny you say that because my parents and Coach P still joke about the fact that when on my recruiting visit, we sat down in his office and he said that we weren't probably going to win games until my senior year. I mean, I wasn't going in it to be on the best team. Like, it was just, I wasn't ready to be done with basketball, and I like the aspect of having a family and stuff. And I don't know, it was humbling, though, being on that team because we went into most games knowing we probably weren't going to win, but we still went to practice twice a day a lot, and we worked really hard. And it's kind of nice to finally see the hard work paying off.
What was it about that hard work that we see that paying off in some wins now? And it didn't take till your senior year. You guys have won plenty of ball games over these past couple of seasons, some big upsets and some really nice wins, and you got the stats to go with it. What do you think clicked?
I think Coach P is a really good coach. He knows how to put girls that play well together in different situations. And I think it's just we were such a young team forever, and I think finally now we have juniors that play significant roles. They have 2 years at the college level. And, I mean, when you're playing majority of freshmen, it's just such a transition from high school to college basketball that it takes a while. And I think that we just learned how to play with each other at that pace.
Favorite moments of your time here, whether it's a win, a shot, something off of the court? What do you think will be some of your favorite memories?
J-term. All the stupid stuff we did during J-term.
We don't have enough time at halftime to go into all of that, I'm sure.
But I would for sure say the 3 big wins was the Bethel sophomore year, or St. Ben sophomore year, Bethel last year, and then St. Thomas this year by far were one of the better moments, yeah.
I remember thinking, because I've been around doing games in the MIAC for a while. I've done everything from Big Ten to high school to MIAC and everything in between. And I remember thinking, I've never seen a player who shoots a three-point ball that comes down from so high. That rainbow lob shot, the three-pointer that you take. I don't know how you managed to hit them, but you've hit some big ones. The one against, St. Ben's the other day was a big one, or no, Superior, that broke the tie. When did you start shooting that high moon ball, that three-pointer? It almost comes down like with icicles on re-entry when it goes through.
I didn't really shoot threes in high school until probably end of my junior year, and everyone has always made fun of me, but it just it goes in. And I've lost a little bit. It's not as high anymore.
I mean, it used to be a bomb.
Yeah,
it was like coming down from a bomber airplane.
My dad, he always brings that up. You don't arch it like you used to.
Yeah.
But I don't know how it's just always been my thing.
Just happened that way.
You got to get it over the basket for it to go in.
That's a good point, and it is 10 feet high, so you do have to get it up there at some point. What do you think the Shauna Horsch that I'm talking to here today, how do you think that person is different than the one that set foot on campus day one here at St. Kate's, fresh off of the North Dakota oil fields, back into the big capital city, and now here you are and it's senior night? It is a bittersweet night, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm for sure a better basketball player, like intelligently and skill-wise, and I'm a lot more mature.
So that's off the court and on.
Yeah, for sure. I can think of situations when I was a freshman, sophomore, trying to deal with, and it was childish. And I even from junior year to senior year, it seems like such an age gap.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited to see how the juniors this year transition into being seniors and taking over the team.
Get you out of here on this one. You're going to be You're going to be heading out of this basketball program. You're heading into this big scary thing they call the real world. There's jobs, there's obligations, there's all this crazy stuff. It's actually not as scary as they make it sound. But what are your plans for post-basketball? I asked Sean the other day, do you think Horsch will go into coaching? Because you kind of have that that vibe about you. Like you really enjoy being in the gym and working on it. That toughness, coaching. What do you want? What do you want to do in the real world?
Well, I have an econ major. I'd thought about law school for a while.
So you're like coaching. Forget that. I want to make more
Yeah,
money. I want to be
yeah.
living on the big penthouse. Yeah.
Exactly. I want to go to New York and work in the businesses and for JP Morgan, something like that. But Coach
So
B,
from the hardwood to Wall Street.
yeah, exactly. But Coach B had asked me to help coach one of his favorite teams, so I might try it out, see how it goes. I just don't know if I'm the patient person to coach, but
Well, if you're impatient, then maybe Wall Street is the right
Yeah.
place to go in Manhattan. It's absolutely insane out there. I can tell you that. I was just out there last spring. So with that, I know you got to get going. Thank you for the time. Congrats on a great career here at St. Kate's. Best of luck on Wall Street. We'll be watching for you. The next time Wall Street needs a bailout, we'll see you on Capitol Hill up there lobbying for some of our hard-earned taxpayer money. How does that sound?
sounds good. Thanks.
All right.
Well, what did you think of that? Shauna Horsch, the lone senior on this Wildcat team, taking a chance to sit down and reflect on a career, and great basketball career it was. Again, you got to imagine the arc of this career for Horsch, not only personally but as a team. The team she came into flat out was just not very good. It was around the bottom of the MIAC, and the goal, I think, of any players to leave the program in better shape than it was when you arrived. And for Shauna Horsch, I would say mission accomplished. Let's break. It's halftime, 44-31 your score. Wildcats on top of the Cobbers. Third quarter about to get underway in St. Paul. The Wildcats have not been gracious hosts up till this point of the Concordia College Cobbers. Right now the Wildcats lead at 44-31. Matt Nelson alongside of Engineer, the man who pushes buttons, pulls levers, and flips switches. That is Glenn Thompson. Well, from the school of don't count your chickens before they're hatched, or maybe learn from history, this is the second time this season the Wildcats have taken a lead into the locker room against Concordia Moorhead. When these two teams played back on January 20th, the Wildcats actually took a 1-point lead into the half and ended up losing that game by 22 points. Now today, granted, they take a bigger one at 44-31 into the locker room, but Concordia has had come from behind victories against the Wildcats this season already, and Januszka gets the scoring underway in the third quarter with a bucket underneath the basket. She's got 10 points. Big crowd continues to grow here in St. Paul. One of our better ones of the season. Fans underneath and upstairs on the running track as well. Lee got bumped, no bucket, and rebound Rosenfeld. The guard has done a nice job rebounding here this evening. Rosenfeld with a couple of those and did knock down a three-pointer earlier as well. She controls it now. Jeske with the Cobbers down 11. Rosenfeld for Januszka, high-low. Instead, opts for Walsh, who airballs a three-pointer. Johnson collects a rebound, got fouled, and put it back up and in. Jennings fouled her. Johnson has 13 points, and the 82% free throw shooter goes to the line with a chance at a three-point play and a chance to push this Cobber run to 5-0 to start the third quarter. Johnson at the stripe, 82% on the season. Got it nothing but net. Johnson's 14 points leads all scores. It's 44-36. A minute into the third quarter. Horsch around the screen. Up top, Garcia passed on a wide open three. Drove, kicked. Horsch was open and knocked down the triple. That brought the bench to their feet for the Wildcats. Horsch with 9 points. Hits her first three-pointer. She was one of her first 5 and had missed her first 2 threes. But the third time was the charm. Corner, Walsh. Cobbers go for a three-pointer of their own. It's short. Januszka the rebound. Garcia tied her up. Possession arrow favors the Wildcats. It's St. Kate's ball. There's something about Garcia when she starts a game. She just has a different energy level, intensity, awareness, sureness of herself than when she comes off of the bench. It's a night and day deal. Lee for Garcia. Now Horsch just hit the last three that stemmed a 5-0 run by the Cobbers to start the third. Garcia with a dozen seconds on the shot clock. Clark top of the key. Goes to her left around a Jennings screen. Picks up her dribble. Tried to get it down low for Garcia. It was off of her hands and picked up by Walsh. A turnover for the Wildcats, something they only did once in the first half. Januszka wants a three. Loads up. It's off of the side of the iron. Garcia the rebound for the Wildcats. Clark in transition. Looks, finds Horsch. Clark up top. Jeske comes out to close out on the open three-pointer. 7:30 left in the third quarter. Jennings through a double team, and she traveled. That's pretty tough. Jennings looked up and had Januszka and Johnson guarding her. Not really much she could do. Kind of leaned into both of them. Couldn't get around them and traveled. A good first half, though, for Jennings. 2 of 4, did have 7 points. Made good on all 3 of her free throws and had a couple of rebounds as well. Nice passing. Johnson open, and she's got 17. Johnson's 3 cuts the lead to 8. Wildcats led by 13 at the break. Horsch into the paint with right-handed dribbles. Kennedy Jennings, no threat to shoot the 3, finds Audra Clark. Again, Clark goes right through the defense and buys another layup off of the window. Clark has a dozen on 6 of 9 shooting, all layups. Lead back to 10 for the Wildcats. They'll play D. Johnson, good heavy pass, goes down low. A drive and a score. Jamie Menser. 49-41. Menser cuts the lead back to just 8 for the Wildcats. No subs for St. Kate's so far here in the third quarter. Playing with about a 7-man squad. Holt and Mace so far the only two bench players that Sean Pinkerton has used. 7 seconds to work with. Horsch drives, spins into a double team. Got it off for Mari Lee, top of the key. Her three-pointers off of the side iron. Johnson, the uncontested rebound. Long pass goes ahead. Raymond's there. Missed the layup. And the rebound deflected out of bounds by Menser. Raymond missed a wide open layup. That would have really gotten St. Kate's attention off after the miss. Would have made it just a 6-point game. Instead, they hold on to that 8-point lead, and Lachey Holt comes in for Garcia. So Lee, Horsch, Audra Clark. Meg is out tonight with a separated shoulder, and Kennedy Jennings. Holt was hot early in the first half. Clark around a screen by Jennings. Pick and roll. Kennedy couldn't come up with it. Oh, and she got bumped and fouled and took a hard fall onto the hardwood. Jennings draws the first foul against the Cobbers in the third quarter. Goes to Crystal Amundsen. First foul for Amundsen and the first for the Cobbers as mentioned. Lee, baseline Jay, about 6 feet out, and Mari Lee's having a nice game. 6 points for the efficient Lee on 4 of 8 shooting. 8 points for Lee on 4 of 8 shooting. The MIAC's shooting percentage champion off last season. Horsch flashed defensively, forced the miss by Jeske. The last touch by the yellow jerseys adorned by St. Kate's. And with a 10-point lead, Jessica Raymond, 13th season, goes back to her bench. She'll call Jeske and Menser back. Walsh and Januszka re-enter. Quick pass comes in. Layup no good for Amundsen. Rebound Wildcats. Holt, pushes the pace for Horsch. Now Clark for Mari Lee. There's Jennings. Left-handed dribbles. Back up top with it. Horsch. Mari Lee. Now Audra Clark on the right-hand side wing. Got a screen from Holt. Made the pass underneath the basket and finds Mari Lee. Clark the dime. Lee the bucket. And 10 points for Lee as the lead back up to 12 with 4:45 left in the third quarter. Long pass and a three-pointer on the way. That's off for Rosenfeld. Rebound Jennings on the high post. Pass ahead. The outlet pass. Finds Clark. She spins one-on-one and took Walsh right to the school. Audra Clark has 14 points, all coming on layups. She's been really the best post scorer for the Wildcats. She's 7 of 10. 55-41. Biggest lead of the night for the Wildcats. Rosenfeld pulls it up and knocks down a 2. Rosenfeld with 5 points tonight, all in jump shots. Wildcats looking a bit discombobulated offensively and a tad winded, playing with only 7 players tonight. Lee for Horsch 3! 12 points for Horsch. The lead is 58-43. 15-point advantage for St. Kate's is their biggest of the night. Rosenfeld into the corner. Walsh against Holt, the great defender, but Walsh lost her and was able to bang down about an 8-footer. 6 points on the evening for Walsh, who was struggling, was 1 of 6. Now 2 of 7 after the short jump shot. 58-45 score, 3:07 left, into the post. Clark's been good as gold all night, and she keeps on keeping on. 16 points for Clark. All on layups, and Concordia has to take a timeout. They trail by 15. Started the third quarter well. The Wildcats have bounced back and expanded on their 13-point halftime lead. It's 60-45. Wildcats on top from St. Paul. More third quarter action when we come back. Well, no Meg Clark tonight. She's on the bench with a separated shoulder, but Audra Clark has picked up the slack and done the job of two Clarks. 8 of 11 from the floor, 16 points and a couple of boards for Audra. Those 16 points, second in the game to only Olivia Johnson, who's got 17 for the Cobbers. She just had a nasty screen for Garcia, but Walsh got stripped by Lachey Holt. Holt for Clark, and 2-on-0 wins. Holt takes the assist, and Clark will take the bucket. 18 points now for Audra Clark. Big night, 62-45 lead for the Wildcats, who are outplaying Concordia in every regard. Walsh three-pointer, rattled in and out. Rebound goes to Januszka. Rosenfeld has it now on the right-hand side wing, just beyond the arc. She's being harassed defensively by Garcia. Januszka, it's worked around into the corner. There goes Walsh on a baseline drive. Found Johnson, but charged. Offensive foul on the pass. Jennings, like an oak tree, found her spot, dug in, got bowled over, and drew the whistle. The third foul against Greta Walsh is the second of the third quarter for the Cobbers. 2 minutes and 10 seconds left in that third period. 62-45 lead for St. Kate's. Lachey Holt with a dozen points. There goes Horsch. Dribbling with the left hand, walking it in, leaning it in, and shooting it off of the window. Horsch has 14 points. It's a 19-point lead. Wildcats all over the 16-7 Cobbers. Walsh in the corner, goes to work on Garcia, got by her. Her layup is short. Rebound, though, hauled in by Rosenfeld. She'll back it up with a fresh shot clock. Second chance for the Cobbers. Walsh. Crossover dribble, wants Januszka in the post. Goes there. Jennings picked off of the pass, but lost it out of bounds. Wildcats are playing some very nice defense. Cobbers have turned it over 15 times. St. Kate's only 6 times. Horsch to the bench, Lee in. 14 from Horsch, 10 for Lee, 18 Clark, 12 Holt. All hands on deck tonight for the Wildcats. And Garcia, who comes up with the turnovers, got 3 of her own. And a foul, no, Holt stepped out of bounds on the baseline with 1:14 left in this third quarter. It's been a wild, fast game with great shooting for both teams. Transporting Wildcat athletes is in the capable hands of Northfield Lines Inc., dedicated to ensuring that your travel experience is a positive one. Call to request a quote or to make a reservation at 888-670-8068 or visit their website, northfieldlines.com. The steal by Holt and the foul in the backcourt. That's going to go against Walsh. That's her 4th. It could be a devastating blow as Walsh now in serious foul trouble. Coach Raymond will have to go back to her bench. She's going to reach in for Jamie Menser, who will spell Walsh, who has struggled mightily tonight, now with the 4 fouls. And just 2 of 9 shooting, 0 of 5 on her 3-pointers. Holt down low, lost it, and it's a turnover. Lee went to that floating pass. It was out of the reach of Shea. It's a turnover. The Wildcats still holding on to that 19-point lead, their largest of the game. Jessica Raymond's team trying to mount a comeback. They came back from a 1-point deficit to win big at home on the 20th of January. Now they're down big on the road, and they just turned it over again. Clark has it. Shot clock is dead. The Wildcats can hold it for the last shot in the third quarter. Clark with Menser all over her. Finds Holt, who isolates middle of the floor. Wants a screen from Jennings on her right side. Got it. Collided. Long 2-pointer is off. No foul call. Deflected the pass. Jennings got it back. A second left. The shot won't count. Not the prettiest end to a quarter, but the scoreboard looks nice. If you're a Wildcat fan, 64-45, 19-point lead for the Cats. As we head to the 4th frame from St. Paul. Shauna Horsch night at the Butler Center. So far, so good. Wildcats up big on the scoreboard, and Horsch with 14 points. Home finale and senior night at the Butler Center for Shauna Horsch, the lone senior for this Wildcat team. 64-45 your score with the Wildcats on top. The only remaining ball game for St. Kate's will be their finale against St. Olaf, a team that they lost to by 10 at home. They avenged a home loss to McAllister. They'll have a chance to do that on Saturday as well against the Oles. Rosenfeld is left wide open for a three, but missed it. The Cobbers can't buy a three-pointer tonight. They are now 3 of 13. 3-on-2, Holt for Lee. Lost it and had it stripped away. The Cobber fans wanted a foul. They didn't get it. Januszka instead came up with the loose ball. Down low, nice play by Garcia. Tapped it away from Johnson. Lee nearly came up with it. Concordia somehow. Jeske got it. She's got it back top of the key. Johnson corner three-pointer. That's short. They're 3 of 14. Offensive board. Januszka through contact, scoring on a layup. Offensive rebound and a bucket for Januszka, who's got a dozen points tonight for the Cobbers. They've really been a two-player show. Januszka has 10. And I mentioned Johnson was 17 on 7 of 9 shooting. Januszka 5 of 7. So those two players are combined 12 of 16. Holt got fouled, threw it up to the rack, and will go to the line to shoot 2. The foul is the first of the fourth quarter against the Cobbers and the first of the ball game against Jamie Menser. So Lachey Holt, a dramatically improved free throw shooter, goes to the free throw line to shoot a pair. Shea's first trip to the stripe tonight. And Holt got the roll and goes 2 for 2. 14 points tonight for Shea. Again, all hands on deck. 4 players in double digits for the Wildcats. Holt 13, Clark 18, Lee 10, and Horsch 14. Cobbers come right back down in transition and knock one down at 66-49. Down low, Horsch. Oh, nifty pass. Horsch couldn't finish off the layup. Johnson got the rebound and threw her rear end right into Shauna. Johnson scored the last bucket for the Cobbers. Trailed by 17. Januszka got fouled by Horsch. She threw one right up to her mug as she went running by her. No basket. 2 free throws. The foul is on the floor against Horsch, her second. Wildcats did well to stay out of foul trouble in the first half. Horsch called for her second. It'll be Cobber ball. 17-point deficit staring at Concordia. Three-pointer is short. Rebound Holt. And there she goes, playing with good energy off of that bench. The conference's leading scorer only plays 24 minutes a game off of the bench. She'll be the 6th player of the year. Three-pointer, Shea. That's off. Offensive board, Lee. Johnson couldn't come up with it. Out of the reach of Clark. Rosenfeld cut off Horsch, and it's a foul against Concordia. Rosenfeld went diving for the loose ball. Fouled Horsch. No, they're going to say it was out of bounds. So St. Kate's ball. 7:50 left in this athletic season at the Butler Center. Started way back in September with volleyball. Here we are, middle of February, winding down what has been a very successful and exciting basketball season. Clark had it stolen away. Falling on it was Amundsen, and they're going to call a travel. Wildcat ball, another turnover. Jeske and Januszka re-enter for the Cobbers. Folks, the next time you're in Twin Cities for shopping, sports, visiting, or that weekend getaway, why not stay at the Best Western Plus Bloomington Hotel just across Kilbrew Drive from the Mall of America. Their staff will take care of you. They got the best in-house dining at the Red Rosa. Check out their website, bestwesternbloomington.com, for details. A proud sponsor of Wildcat Athletics. There's a turnover. Look out in the bleachers. That was like a foul ball heading into the bleachers. careless turnover by the Cobbers, who are clearly out of sync and forcing it right now very uncharacteristically. They've turned the ball over 20 times, and we still have 7 minutes and 15 seconds left to play. Wildcats are winners of their last 3. Concordia, their last time out, got a win over St. Ben's. The last MIAC home game here at home for the Wildcats as well. They got that win over the Blazers. Holt will go off to her left, run into 4 defenders, put it up, score it, and get fouled. She had 4 defenders waiting for her, drew the whistle, finished the shot, and with her 16 points goes to the free throw line with a chance at a 3-point play. They're fastly approaching blowout territory for Concordia. Really a dominant effort by the Wildcats. Holt can't finish off the 3-point play. Really 34 minutes of basketball has been dominated by St. Kate's. Concordia has not led. Mentzer drives, kicks. Jeske down low. Januszka against Holt. Spins into a double team. Didn't matter. She still was able to score it. Januszka with 14. (68-51) your score. Would be a big win. Clark got it to Holt. Her shot was blocked. Januszka got a hand in there along with Jeske, who pushes the pace into the front court. Marches it into the corner. Hands it off. Raymond. Jeske. Long pass. Nothing there. Januszka guarded by Clark. Mismatch in height, but Januszka playing out beyond the arc. 3-pointer on the way. That's long for Mentzer. Weak side rebound, Mari Lee. 3-point shooting tonight. Concordia now 3 of 16. That's below 20%. Wildcats in very good shape. In no rush. Clark walks it into a double team. Kicks outside. 3-pointer, Horsch. Yeah, you bet. 17 points on senior night for Horsch, and the lead is 20. Biggest of the night, forces a timeout by the Cobbers. There's 5:31 left in St. Paul, 5:31 left in the 2016 season at the Butler Center, and the Wildcats are clawing all over the Cobbers. We had an email come into the Wildcats booth at the end of the last game. It came from the Lees up there in Dawson, and it said, I don't know how Sean's hair stays black. Of course, with the dearth of close games that the Wildcats have had to endure this season, it's still black. I don't know either how it happened, but right now, Wildcats aren't sweating this one. They've just got to finish off 5-17 in their home season and hang on to this 20-point lead. 71-51. Concordia has been undone by serious turnover issues. They've turned it over 20 times to the Wildcats 10. Both teams have shot well. Concordia 47%, Wildcats 54%, but Concordia only making 18% of their three-pointers, 3 of 16. Mason there right now buying a breather for Holt. Clark, the dependent scorer in this 5, goes right at Walsh playing with the 5 fouls. Mace outside. Her jumper's long. And an offensive board. Kennedy Jennings came up with it. 3-pointer. Swish! Clark! 21 points. Januszka underneath, left all alone in transition. The Cobbers get 2 of them back. Januszka's got 16, and the Cobbers take a timeout. A Clark 3, a Januszka 2. Back and forth we go. Wildcats by 21 in St. Paul. 21-point lead for the Wildcats over the Cobbers in the home finale. Don't forget, the Cobbers are in third place in this conference, 12-4 overall. In the MIAC, 16-7 overall. Proud sponsor of Wildcat Athletics since all the way back in 1971, Universal Athletic. Their team has been passionate about fueling the dreams of athletes, and they put all their know-how into doing just that by servicing and selling athletic gear to local high schools, colleges. Universal Athletic has dedicated its heart and soul to the support of teams, fitness, and health programs and communities. Johnson's three is a no-go. The three-point shooting woes of the Cobbers continue, and it's Wildcat ball on the tip. The Cobbers now are 3 of 17 shooting the long ball, and they've only been to the free throw line 6 times. They made 4 of those. Wildcats are 7 of 15 on their three-pointers, 46%. Backcourt, a foul against the Wildcats. Check that, it may have rolled out of bounds. So it's Concordia ball, backcourt turnover. Defensive pressure forces the turnover for Concordia. There's still going to be a handful for whoever plays them in the postseason. Januszka and Johnson are really good. Walsh has struggled tonight, but she's a dynamic weapon as well. Rosenfeld has had a solid night, 7 points after that jumper on the game. Inside of 4 minutes left, it's 74-55. Wildcats commanding lead. Holt into the lane and whistles a foul against Rosenfeld. She was battling for position underneath with Jennings. The senior Rosenfeld called for her second. And it's just a second against Concordia here in the fourth quarter. Check that third. Jennings got wiped out again. No whistle. They'll play on. Holt will go to work offensively. Now Clark. Those two have been as good as gold. Clark 10 of 14 with 21 points. She's the hot hand. Horsch on senior night open. 3 is long. Rebound uncontested. Jeske has it. Into the front court. Walsh, who has struggled mightily tonight. Just 2 of 9 with 6 points. She drives, dishes. Januszka lost it, but it was touched on the way out of bounds by Horsch. Cobbers with 16 seconds on their shot clock to work with. Walsh. Outside, Johnson 3. That was long and hit off of the backboard. It's Wildcat ball. Johnson clearly frustrated, throwing her fists about. She's 2 of 5 on her three-pointer. She's got 2 of the 3 tonight for the Cobbers. Wildcats, though, turned it over in the backcourt. Januszka in 1. Bad timing on those. It stops the clock. It sends Januszka to the free throw line. Januszka with 18 points. There's some players having huge nights here tonight. Clark, 21 points. Horsch, 17. Holt, 16. Johnson, 19. And Januszka, 16. Make it 17. She goes and converts that three-point play. Januszka now with 18 points. 74-58. Still a nice cushy lead, but a turnover in the backcourt. Sean's going to have to burn a timeout. Pass goes ahead. Rosenfeld got tripped up from behind by Holt. Missed her free throw, no whistle. Holt the rebound. Wants to get it into the front court. There she goes. 3-on-2. Nice pass. Jennings, who bowled over Johnson and won. Foul on Johnson. And the Moorhead faithful is all over the officials. Jessica Raymond wants an explanation on the foul call. She thought they missed one. She thought the contact was initiated by Jennings as she goes to the free throw line. Can't finish off the three-point play, but she's got 9 points tonight. The foul against Johnson was her first. The lead is 18, and the Concordia College faithful are riled up. One would think it was a 4-point lead rather than an 18-point lead with 2:43 left. The lid nearly came off of this place when that foul was called against Johnson. Timeout on the floor. We do the same. 76-58. Feels like a closer game than it is. Wildcats in control. Shapko Printing, full-service print solution provider, provides the highest quality print communications reliably and consistently for customers across the globe. Shapko has received numerous awards from a variety of prestigious organizations located at 1109 Zane Avenue North in Minneapolis. Check out their website, shapko.com. 2:37 left in the game. High-low action. Januszka down low, and she's fouled. Jennings and Holt were there, and it will put Januszka on the free throw line. The clock stops. This is exactly what Concordia wants, stopping the clock and putting the Cobbers on the line. The foul will go against Jennings. The third against Kennedy, and the third against the Wildcats. The foul is on the floor. So an inbounds for Walsh. Johnson sprung free momentarily, but went for Rosenfeld, nearly lost it. Jennings chases her down. Walsh has it now. She'll try the long, desperate three-pointer. That's short. Johnson's rebound tipped up for Rosenfeld, who kicked it outside for Johnson. Now back up top. Walsh three-pointer. She is really struggling. That one is short. Rebound. Loose ball. Jennings jumps on it, and it is a jump ball. Cobbers have the arrow, so they'll keep it. Walsh now just 2 of 10, 0 of 6 on her three-pointers with 6 points. And a hold against Jennings before the ball came in. And there's one Cobber fan in particular across the way who has really caught my eye. He's as entertaining as the action on the floor. His face as red as the stripes on the American flag. We got a timeout on the floor. Concordia wants it. With each foul, the face gets redder and redder. And the Wildcats, you look at the scoreboard, still in control. 76-58, 2:13 left. Wildcats 2 minutes and 13 seconds away from their 7th MIAC win of the season. Both teams with 4 fouls. Jennings will play on with 4 of them. Quick inbound pass. Johnson, her shot off of the window, rattles in and out. Holt comes up with a rebound. She got lost her footing, came back up with it. Now Lee has it, and the Wildcats march it into the front court. They are in really good shape. Inside of 2 minutes left, still leading this by 18, 76-58. Holt, huge night. Clark still with 21, into the lane. Jennings for Horsch. It's her night on senior night. She's been clutch as well. Oh, Lee got fouled by Januszka. They completely missed it. What was that? And now an offensive foul is going to go against Jennings. She's done. That was Sean Pinkerton. Can we see that, Glenn? He's pleading his case with the official. Januszka came up and absolutely blew up Mari Lee. That foul was not called. The offensive foul makeup call on Jennings was called. She's fouled out for the night and goes to the bench with 1:43 left. Third straight game at home that Jennings has fouled out, but she's called upon to do that dirty work in the low post, and Sean doesn't have enough bench players to hide her when she gets in foul trouble. Sean had every right to get in the official's ear about Januszka and Lee. She threw both hands in the air and really drove Lee backwards. Rosenfeld's nice-looking jump shot. Rosenfeld has had a nice night. She's got 9 points. It's a 16-point lead with 1:25 left. Holt into the front court. Now marches ahead into the corner. Lee's there to set a screen. These two teams still playing really hard and physical for a game that's got 74 seconds left in it. It's a blowout. Garcia, corner, Horsch. Why not? Back up top instead, Garcia. Dozen seconds left in a turnover. Clark lost it. Jeske into the front court. Don't foul, Shauna. Oh, that's exactly what she did. Clock stops, and Jeske will go to the line to shoot 2. 62% free throw shooter Jeske. 0 of 2 from the floor tonight, and did make her lone free throw try. She'll shoot 2 after the foul on Horsch, her third. Mason There goes Shauna Horsch out on her senior night. Big, nice ovation from the Wildcat faithful, and she had a really great senior night. 17 points, 5 of 11 from the floor. Jeske makes both of her free throws at 76-62. Horsch will dribble it around in the backcourt. Find Clark. She'll bring it on ahead into the front court. She's in no rush. Had numbers. Instead decides to slow it up, and the Cobbers are going to go ahead and foul Mace with Johnson, her second foul, and will send Mace to the free throw line with the Wildcats up 14. Mace, the more seldom used freshman. Oh, nice work. Goes to the free throw line and makes her first. She's actually a perfect 7 of 7 on the season from the charity stripes, and now 8 of 8. See if she can have a perfect freshman season from the line. Yes, 9 of 9. That should just about really do this one. Mace makes both of her free throws. Cobbers threw it away, but they'll keep it. It was deflected out of bounds by Mace. Walsh outside. Rosenfeld three-pointer. That's short. And the rebound by Holt. She saved it right into the hands of Walsh. 28 seconds left. Walsh marches it in. And the Cobbers score. Walsh 9 to Johnson. She's got 19 points. The Cobbers are going to shoot 3 of 21 on their three-pointers. That's below 15%. No shot clock. The Wildcats can dribble it out. The Cobbers decide to pressure the ball. They kick it out of bounds. Shauna Horsch firmly placed on the bench. What a career as a Wildcat for Shauna. Holt has it. They can dribble it out. We'll see. Do the Cobbers want to wave the white flag of surrender with 8 seconds left? Holt will back it up, and they will. What a win. What a night on senior night for the Wildcats. They've won their last 4 ball games and led wire to wire 40 minutes. The Wildcats led. They win 78-64. Your Wildcat postgame show is on the air. Matt and Glenn with you. The Cobbers fall to 16-8 on the season. They split the season series with the Wildcats. Concordia College now 12-5 in the MIAC. The Wildcats win for Horsch on senior night. They improved to 13-11. That guarantees them a finish above 500 on the season. 7-10 now in the MIAC. You're scoring first for the Cobbers. They come up short tonight. Greta Walsh really struggled. 0 of 7 on her three-pointers, 2 of 11 from the floor. She scored 6 points. Jeske 0 of 2. She had 3 points from the free throw line. Olivia Johnson is a rock-solid player. 9 of 16, 7 rebounds and 21 points. Januszka chipped in as well. 9 of 11, 19 points, 7 boards. Those two players had 18 of Concordia's 27 made shots, and they did it on 27 tries. Rosenfeld 4 of 10. She had 9 points. Menser 4 off of the bench, and Raymond had a pair as well. The Wildcats only play 7 players. They get 2 from Mace off of the bench, late free throws. Garcia made her 1 try. It was a three-pointer. Mari Lee 5 of 9 with 10 points. 4 players in double digits for the Wildcats. Lee with 10 on 5 of 9 shooting. Shauna Horsch on her senior night, 5 of 11, 17 points. Lachey Holt, 16 points, 8 boards on 6 of 13. Jennings, 3 of 6 with 9 points. Nearly had 5 players in double digits. The Wildcats shoot a very robust and healthy 54%, and they make 7 out of their 16 three-pointers. That is 43%. They also were 11 of 14 from the free throw line. Did turn it over 17 times to the Cobbers 20, but early turnovers really plagued Concordia. I will stick with what I said earlier. Jessica Raymond's team will still be a handful in the playoffs, but they got to figure out the turnovers and get a little bit more out of their guards. Their 2 post players were dominant tonight. The guards were not. What a season it has been. We had some exciting volleyball matches, didn't we, Glenn? And some basketball wins. This leaves a great taste in our mouth looking ahead to 2016 and 2017. The wins this season for the Wildcats were over Crown, Whittier, Occidental, North Central, UW Stout, St. Thomas at home in an emotional win, 67-63. Hamlin, 71-57. Carleton, 70-44. And then this 4-game winning streak: UW Superior 77-72, St. Ben's 57-56, and McAllister 81-57. And then again tonight, wire to wire, they led 78-64 is your final score here tonight. Again, the Wildcats are now 13-11, 7-10 in the MIAC. Our final broadcast of 2015-2016's athletic season. Glenn, we hear your name a lot. You do a lot of hard work to bring Wildcat athletics to their fans. You got the microphone in your hands, I assume, again,
do I get to say something
to
now?
shower praise on me, undoubtedly.
Matthew, sir, you are excellent. None better.
There's nobody better
than you at doing this, and that even includes the boss.
Whoa, man! Don't let him hear that.
Hey, this will be our secret.
Oh, okay, that's good. I appreciate that. Well, we know we got the best engineer in all of Minnesota. There's no question about that.
But this has been awesome fun. Every year I look forward to this, and I said it before. Coming to St. Catherine is, of all the places we go, my favorite by a long, long ways.
It's not even close.
Not even close.
And it's the people.
It's the people. Everybody here is great.
Yeah, it is.
And as much as we miss Sarah, which we do already, she's been replaced.
Yeah, Kelsey's doing a great job.
Kelsey's doing a great job, so we appreciate all her help.
Eric Stacy, the athletics director, is a great supporter of these shows. Sean Pinkerton and Corey Phelps.
Yep.
Both great head coaches, both very supportive. You hear them before each and every broadcast. And like I said, my job's easy. Glenn, you're the one who has to do all the hard work. You carry all the stuff in and out.
Tonight you can carry it out.
Yeah. What was that? You're breaking up a little.
Yeah, I kind of figured that.
It's the last game. I'm sentimental, but I'm not that sentimental, Glenn. All right, I'll help carry the stuff out tonight.
Okay.
Just another fun season. There's so many great moments.
Yes.
There's just those moments that make you go, wow, the athleticism and the skill of these athletes is remarkable. So with that,
looking forward to next year.
All right, we'll see you next fall then.
We'll do that.
And I'll have a baby I can bring along and for color analyst.
Right.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Don't forget about that.
You'll be bringing help.
My first, yes. We'll have help next year. A third
Good
wheel.
help too.
Yeah, I think so.
Just be sure Mama comes with him.
I don't think I'm going to get her too far out of the reach at what is it? 9 o'clock and it's cold outside, so I don't think that might be in the cards. But the Saturday afternoon
Saturdays
games,
would be good.
Those are always
absolutely
up for grabs.
I
Big
can hardly
win.
wait.
Me neither, my friend. Thank you for all your hard work.
Thank you, sir. And we'll see you next season.
Very good.
All right.
78-64, your final. Wildcats win. Their season finale is Saturday against St. Olaf. Clock tip-off for that. For my engineer, he's Glenn Thompson. For Kelsey downstairs, athletics director Eric Stacy, and head coach Sean Pinkerton, I'm Matt Nelson signing off. And as always, saying, go Wildcats. Thanks for tuning in all season long.